right. We got some friends that, you know, internet friends, but this time on the PlayStation, that they're in the great city of Houston, you know, doing some things for the first time. Black Cat has crossed our path. Hopefully that doesn't mean something terrible, but already our AI student driver knows not to hit the Black Cat. Halloween is approaching, so you know, you get some of these superstitions in place. But we're gonna push forward, right? There's nothing else to do it. Nothing else to it but to do it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we got KEEKAGE on the, you know, his PlayStation handle there. So him and his lady, they're in town. I'm gonna escort them to the Breakfast Club, which is a staple. If you're not familiar, Breakfast Club has some of the best chicken and waffles I've ever eaten on the planet, and I've been all around the world, and I can't find my baby. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna head to where he's at, which is looks like gonna take us a minute. Traffic is probably not gonna be good at this time. Where it's let's take a look. It is October 17th, 2025, about 5 minutes to 11 a.m. So in actuality, it might have been faster for them to just Uber, but I didn't want them to have to do as much Ubering if they could help it, right? To me, that's unnecessary funds wasted. I you know, get to see them and, you know, have a little bit of this this fine dinery. We got the yellow light. Our AI student driver is going to meet that, but man, it is going to be a minute before we get over there. That's crazy. So I don't know, we might be listening to some music. Just wanted to kind of let you know, I don't know if they've ever been in they've probably been in a Tesla before. I just don't know if they've experienced FSD, especially 13.2.9. Having them understand that I don't drive anymore, really. The car is doing all of the heavy lifting, and every now and then I might take over for human's sake, right? I think this morning when we're going to the dog park, there was an instance where there was a lot of stop and go traffic up ahead. There's a stop sign, just a four-way stop, which in actuality should become a light, and that'll probably be one of the things. It was just, I think our car had navigated around that red area, and I wasn't, it was early in the morning, forgive me ladies and gentlemen, but once I saw it going left when it wasn't supposed to naturally, like, I'm sure there's more than one way to skin cats, right? You can go in there and do the roundabout way, right? It would probably have been more miles, but it may be faster, according, and that's what I got my settings on for navigation. I want the fastest route, and it took that with heart, and wanted to take a left and probably go around this stop and go, always stop traffic. Instead, I panicked, freaked out, and disengaged, and I should have just let the car do what it do, right? So we sat there in the stop and go traffic, and I was like, yeah, that's probably exactly what had happened. It tried to navigate around this. So right now, my disengagements, very, very few and far between, have anything to do with safety. It's really more about preference. And, you know, as an Uber driver, my passengers, they always think they know best. They have their preferences, right? And I try to adhere. Whereas the ones that I have when I'm by myself, more times than not, if I intervene, it's a problem, right? I'm causing more harm than in actuality if I just let the car do it. So I'm embodying the phrase, just let the robot do it. Just let the robot do it. When Yoshi's driving, I get a little, you know, apprehensive. I'm like, just let the car drive. Please just let the car drive. Because it is so, because I use it so much, I know exactly what to expect, right? And when she's driving, all bets are off, right? It might as well be like I'm sitting in the car blindfolded. I have no idea what she's going to do next. It could be anything. But with the car, there is a consistency here that I don't think I can do without anymore. for my sanity on the roads. But anyway, Tesla stock, where were we at? It's a Friday. I want to say we had an update today. Yeah, we're up a little over 1.5% today. I didn't make any moves. I haven't been making any moves recently. Like I don't think I've done anything for all of October. September was nice, but I think at the end of September, I took my win, and I haven't really been in the options market at all. So yeah, maybe get back in there. I was hoping we'd fall deeper, maybe below 415, and then my spidey sense would go up in the stock market, being like, what options do I have, right? What if I want to engage in options activity? What's my best bet? We're still selling covered calls with incredible price targets. I mean, if we have run-ups like that, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be opposed to selling, because I'm gonna buy right back. I just don't like trying to pick and choose when to get back in, right? You kind of want to go lower than what you sold at, right? Because you want to avoid the taxes, but you also want the same amount of shares. But the goal is to never ever sell those 100 shares and just collect the premium, right? And it's not crazy premium, but it's something that I get to just dump right back into the brokerage account, collect interest on that, or use to buy more shares of Tesla. That's been my plan since I've actually accumulated 100 shares back in 2022 or so. Ever since then, I've been playing with the option strategy of covered calls, and never really wanting to sell any of those, but wanting to take advantage of premium. So, and that's been working well for me. Like, I found my niche, so I'm able to make several covered calls every 6 weeks or so, adding to my position with the aspirations of never selling a single share, but trying to make money off the shares that I do have, in addition to them potentially 10xing over the next 10 years. That's the plan. And so far so good. Not saying it's foolproof, because there are decisions that you have to make while you're trying to not lose shares, or if you do lose shares, what do you do in response? What are the ramifications of that with tax purposes? How soon do you have to buy back in to negate the taxes of what you just sold for the option? All kinds of things go through my mind when I hit the execute button. So not easy, but it's my system. I've got my rules that I like to adhere to. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got. And been doing okay. I don't know. We got 35 minutes technically before we arrive to our destination. They might be mad at me. I don't know when the Breakfast Club closes. It should be up, right? I'd like to think. I normally go there bright and early in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday, typically a Sunday. Lines around the block if you get there too late. It's a Friday. I don't think there's a holiday in place, but I still assume that there will be a significant line throughout the day. I'll experience that with them, get to shoot the breeze, if you will. And yeah. Shout out to Landon on X. He's very much aware of my plight. I don't need to work. I want to work. But I don't want to work for just anybody. I want to work for Tesla. And I apply every month. I just blitz them with applications. And I've enlisted the aid of Grok to help me with my resume. Let me know the ins and out of the hiring process for what Tesla is looking for, and I believe it has improved my resume. So take a look. If you're out there, these artificial intelligence models, they with your supervision can make your life not only easier, but just a little more, I don't know, fulfilling if you utilize them properly, right? So take that with a grain of salt. AI is not here to replace you. It's here to aid you. It's here to make you more knowledgeable. But again, you also want to, depending on what you're looking at factually, you want to fact check it, right? It's going to give you a gist, right? It's going to comb and scour the interwebs for potential responses and answers. you kind of want to fact check it, especially if it's something vital, right? You don't want to go in there and have it tell you something it combed that it's heard. Anyway, there is no lifeguard on duty. Police yourself, but utilize AI. It definitely can help you in various different situations as a personal assistant, as a drafter of, giving you first drafts for any kind of document that you need to work up. It's helped me with when the Model X got into an accident, we did the damage loss paperwork with the insurance company. That guy thought I did insurance, right? He thought I worked for insurance. When I submitted my paperwork, he's like, "You're like the best at this." And I was like, "Hey man, I had a little assistance." And of course I fact checked it, make sure that all the stuff that was being drafted by artificial intelligence applied to me. I changed some things here and there, but it's great for a first rough draft. I also am a D&D, Galaxy Master for Star Wars. That's the nerd in me, right? I love me some tabletop. And I've also used Grok to help me draft up encounters and campaigns. And it's like having someone to bounce ideas off of. It's coming up with things, whether or not they're new or fresh or whatever, that's not the point, right? I take what it says, internalize it, and then use it for me. And then when I tweak stuff, Grok's not like, "No, man, it's got to be the way I said it." No, he's like, "You know what? That's not a bad idea. It could work better like this. It could work better." Ultimately, it's up to you how you want to treat that second ear, right? That is, it's kind of like having a puppy. There's unconditional love with the puppy. Always gonna love you. If a puppy doesn't like you, you got problems. And the same with artificial intelligence. It's gonna be unconditional, unwavering in its desire to assist you, right? So you got to take that with a grain of salt too. It's not gonna want to, it wants you to come back. So it's not going to do too much to upset you unless you've got unhinged mode of Grok. So, and even then, if you're a glutton for punishment, you're gonna come back anyway, right? So to each their own, what they like, but there is value in these models. There's value in what they can do for you, what they can provide on many different scopes and scales that I'm not even touching on. But for me, I use it every day, like in some way, shape, or form. I'm popping up Grok. Some of this nuanced stuff with Grok Imagine, I do utilize it for portraits of tokens and things of that nature. So I'm definitely an advocate, but I may not use certain features as much as other people. That's my spill. I got Grok in the car here. When I have Spanish speakers, depending on the mood of the rider and what they're into, some Spanish speakers, they look at me and they're like, maybe this guy's Dominican, maybe he speaks Spanish, and they soon find out that I am nowhere near a Spanish speaker. But if they're not engrossed on their phones, or cleaning ladies or whatever, just working class ladies doing their stuff, right? I try to leave people alone as best I can. But if they are engaging, Grok will help me with translations. And that's an experience in itself, to have the car do translations of any capacity. And it's okay. Sometimes it tries to insert itself in the conversation. But I wanted to use it as a translator versus a conversationalist trying to, digest the conversation. Sometimes it'll feel like it needs to provide analysis of what's being said. And I just wanted to do the back and forth. Let me do my own interpretation there, Grok. But it is a strange new world that we're living in, right? I'm going in my third active life, so I've been around for a bit. And in my wildest dreams 20 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that this is where we would be. It's kind of insane to me. So, with that being said, we are still 30 minutes out. They're gonna be like, why did we let this guy decide to pick us up from over there, right there? This is how big Texas is. Cypress is right next to me, right? Technically, we're on the border of Cypress right now. but they're on the north side. Like, they're like on the far side of Cypress, whereas I'm in Katy. And it's, I don't know, 30 miles away. But that's how big, just because this is the greater metro area of Houston, essentially. Cypress, Katy. But man, it's such a distance apart. It's almost tough, right? If you live in the greater metro area of Houston, that you think that robo-taxis, they could be out here. There's no reason why they wouldn't, but you imagine them being downtown in the inner city, right? Inside the loop, as we would call it here in the great city of Houston. So inside the 610 loop, I imagine that's where the robo-taxis will start, and that's where they will branch out. But I mean, the driving out here is so simple, especially when we're able to put our vehicles on the network. That's when I'll get most excited, right? You don't gotta drive, you can just hop in and go, because everything's of great distance. There's just a colossal amount of miles between you and where you want or need to be. And I believe in the transformation of transportation so that we restore mobility to those that are, there's definitely a sheriff right there. Hopefully he doesn't stop us or gets antsy. But we're definitely going, I don't have a device, I swear. But I gotta apply some force to the steering wheel. But yeah, we're going about 80 and a 70. And, you know, everybody going about 80 and a 70, right? That cop, you know, I guess he's gonna give a little, like, he probably looking for egregious speeders. And we've got our version 13.2.9, where many, I wouldn't say many of the community, because it feels like that way if you're looking on X, like many people have version 14. But that's just simply not the case. Tesla is going to do what they've got to do to make sure that it is being safe, being very, very safe when it comes to the propagation of this software and this technology, right? They've just introduced Mad Max mode, which isn't about speeding. It's really about decisive decision making. Of course, in, you know, Mad Max, or, you know, in Mad Max mode, they were going fast in the movies, right? But that's not the point. It's really about being able to maneuver. Darting in and out of traffic is what Mad Max mode does. So there is a lot of stalling when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic. People not paying attention, people on their phones, people, you know, doing anything else besides the task of driving, because in bumper-to-bumper traffic, you know, there's not a whole lot of urgency to pay attention. But that also creates unnecessary wait times when it comes, like some lanes will be moving ahead while some are stagnant. What Mad Max mode does is pick the best lane to be in to get moving, right? So if this lane right here in particular is stopped, it'll jump over to the right lane. And then once it sees that the right lane is, you know, coming slow and maybe the left lane is moving, it'll dart right back over into the left lane and then keep proceeding. So Mad Max mode is very good for traffic if you're late. Like if I got to go to a VA appointment and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-10, then bumper-to-bumper traffic on 610, I would probably switch to Mad Max mode, one, just to try it, and then two, to make sure I get to my appointment on time. So there is a use case for Mad Max mode, but here in Houston, most of us are driving slow, living fast, if you know what I mean. So I'm rarely in hurry mode. And hurry mode did a combination of what you would imagine Mad Max mode is, you know, maybe a lesser version of Mad Max. But hurry mode was, I put it in there a couple of times. It is very assertive when it comes to lane decision making. It is definitely going to be on the upper echelon of the speed threshold when it has some legs to move. So yeah, that's the new update, right? And they're going to be adding features constantly to version 14. I think this model, it's going to store, it's got a lot of room to grow, right? And they're going to open things up, like it's on the model. The model can probably do stuff, but they kind of keep it capped. You know, just you know, for further testing, making sure that, you know, everything is validated so that everybody is safe, so that you can kind of know what to expect when you know, experience some of these features. Banish is the thing I'm absolutely waiting for. Like, what does that feel like? What does that look like when it comes to liability, right? Am I gonna have to hold on while I'm banishing the vehicle? Like, I assume that defeats the purpose of it dropping me off at Target, and then I gotta press a button and watch it go park itself, right? I imagine it's going to do that autonomously. Where does the liability go once I've exited the vehicle and the car is operating by itself? Those steps right there, ladies and gentlemen, you know, and you look out, there's not a whole lot of Teslas out here that you might have seen. There's a few scattered, you know, sprinkled throughout the vehicles that are passing me on the left or that I'm sharing the road with here on the right. But none of these cars drive themselves. The Teslas are the only ones capable of doing it at this degree. So when there's nobody in the car, like we had some actual smart summon, right? But we had to hold it down. We had to, we were still liable as we're holding down on the summon button or whatever, right? But banish, that's a different, that should be a whole different scope of liability and what Tesla's willing to take, you know, as their responsibility, essentially, right? You're still going to have to pay for the insurance, I'd imagine. But if there were to be an accident that occurs, I imagine Tesla's not going to make people pay co-pays for accidents where liability has been transferred over to the car. There are so many questions, so many concerns and all that, but it's so exciting to watch the vehicle behave better than I can. So I look forward to the future. I wonder what this time next year is going to look like. It's a lot of hard work from the Tesla AI team, which I greatly appreciate. If I get a chance to just be a part of the company, I have no problem dedicating a huge portion of my free time, and I've got plenty of it, Tesla, to making sure that everything is copacetic here in the great city of Houston, Texas. Whether that be deliveries, whether that be service, whether that be HR. There was an HR job at the new mega factory that's being built over here in Brookshire that I really thought that I could be of benefit and be of service, you know, as best I can. Landon sent me the Robotaxi manager job over here in Houston. Who knows, man? If you don't ask, you can't get, right? So I'm at least gonna ask for these jobs. The worst they can do is tell me no. If they get me in an interview, I want to just express my passion, my gratitude for what they have done already to change my life. Been a Tesla owner since 22. I bought a share of Tesla, my first share in 2022. I'm talking too fast. I bought my first Tesla in 2020. I bought my first share of the stock in 2020 as well, as soon as I was able to experience it. But the company's been alive, been running around way before then, 20 years almost, before the time I stepped foot in a Tesla. I wish I'd have found the company sooner, but that's neither here nor there. I'm here now, and it doesn't take me all day to recognize sunshine, because this, to me, is the future. This is me not driving, me being absolutely safe in one of the safest vehicles ever created. There's a warmth here that I think should be shared with the world. These things aren't cheap, but they're not super expensive, not expensive as you think they might be for what they provide. I mean, an update overnight can change my car dramatically, right? I have version 13. When they do decide to push me the software overnight, my car is going to become a much better driver. It's going to be able to do more things than it did previously. And guess what? That's free. We got Keanu calling right now. Yo, yo, yo.
Joe, what's good, boss?
I'm on the road. It's telling me I got about 17 minutes to arrival.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Is Breakfast Club? How long is it? Should do they close in between? I know they do have some night hours, but
no, I think we good still on the. I think we still good on time with everything.
Okay. You just let me know. I was like, man, I didn't know it was gonna be this long.
Yeah, no, you go. We just got finished getting ready.
All right.
Yeah, that's why you just taking her hair out.
Oh.
I got on a sweater because I get cold easily. But it's
bro, you got on a sweater in 80-degree weather?
Yeah, I get cold easy. So like going inside places, I be freezing.
That's fair.
So like I'm a sweater unless it's like 90 degrees. I'm a sweater wearer. Especially like going in and outside of. If I was just outside all day, I got short sleeves. So if I was just gonna be outside all day, then I would wear short sleeves. But to be going inside, outside, I'd be cold as a bitch.
That's fair. That's fair.
All
right.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's what I was calling to tell you that we was ready.
Alright, so it's telling me about 16 minutes. I'll be right there. I'll be outside.
Yeah, we'll probably just meet you by the gate because it's like some type of, it's like a little gated community shit.
For sure. But yeah, no more than 16 minutes for sure.
Alright, bet. So we'll be out there. We'll be out there by like 11:30.
Sound good?
Alright, bro.
Alright, boss man.
Peace.
Yeah, so that should be a good time. There's just so much distance between anywhere you want to be down here. And yeah, I drive Uber. I know exactly what the fees are. From here to the Breakfast Club, that's the pretty penny. We don't want them doing that. If we can save them a few bucks, by all means, we're going to do that. And then they're going to want to, I think they're trying to go to the Space Center, you know, from the Breakfast Club. That's that might be a bridge too far for me because that is out there. But we'll see how I'm feeling. We left Chewbacca back at the cribbo, so we don't want to neglect him, you know. So I probably will go to the Breakfast Club. Part of me wanted to turn on the Uber app. Our car isn't as clean as we would like it to be. You know, I got paw prints in the passenger seat that I probably need to brush off. You know, and the outside is a little less pristine than I would like. So I might actually go to the car wash after my soiree with Keanu. But yeah, we'll try to hang out with them as best we can. We also got plans to go to the fair after Yosh gets off work tomorrow, where I would probably hang out with them a little bit more. But any time is better than no time, and you know, we take what we can get, right? But we're also going, I don't know, we'll probably be in the Model X. We might get some footage of the Model X. We have, you know, every time I step into the Model X, I know exactly why we pay so much for that thing. It is amazing. I don't know how better, like, it is a luxury vehicle for a reason. And I don't know, every time I'm in it, I feel like I'm in the cockpit of a 757 or something. You know what I mean? I've never been in one, but I imagine that's what it feels like. You're sitting so high, the view is amazing, and there's so much comfort, right? And I'm a bigger dude, so when I'm sitting in those seats, I'm just like, I know it's comfortable for me. She's like, yeah, I'm swimming in it every day. And she's just tiny little thing, right? Just way too big. But I know exactly, the Model X is an amazing vehicle. So I can't wait to do that. It's rerouting us to save a couple of minutes. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, we're going to try to have a good time. We're gonna see if we can capture their excitement. You know, we'll see how that goes. And can't believe my boy Keanu is gonna wear a sweater in the midday of Houston in the middle of October, but to each their own. It will get colder as we get closer to sunset, but that is a while away. But yeah, he can always take that sweater off, I'd imagine, and do whatever he's got to do. Hopefully we don't have a 80 to 90 degree Halloween. That's like my big thing, is the temperature down here determines what costume I can wear when I'm handing out candy to the children. But you know, that's neither here nor there. What are we talking about? We're talking about Robotaxis being expanded to various different cities. Can't wait till it comes here to Houston. The ability to throw any of these vehicles on a Robotaxi network intrigues the heck out of me. And, you know, maybe working for them, I would love to try to guide the Houston Robotaxi service. Well, you know, it'd be like a glorified, whatchamacallit, like, you know, a manager of vehicles, where you're, you know, a team of guys that are probably going to be monitors initially. You got to manage that, making sure the vehicles are clean. I think I have a unique skill set of leadership that could make that job just right for me. I don't know. We'll see. I trust Tesla's judgment. They're going to hire the people that they know are going to help. I just want to be one of those people. But if not, there's definitely no hard feelings. I'll just keep applying until they find the job that's right for me. And once I get my foot in the door, ladies and gentlemen, I got 20 years of good workable years, I believe, in me. And as long as everything stays, you know, within reason, I will gladly give them my remaining work years to make sure that the mission is achieved in any small way that I can help. So, yep. Yeah, we pretty much talked this entire time. I was gonna turn on the music, but yeah, I mean, we only got like 10 minutes left before we arrive at our destination. And let's see, what else do I want to talk about? What else do I want to talk about? Let's see. I haven't Ubered all week, which is probably not good. I need to be Ubering much, much more than this. Thought I was going to do a lot of Ubering in September. I did not. But we got to make sure I think we had caught a flat tire, caught a 9-inch nail in our back left tire, which kind of slowed us down a little bit. Lo and behold, we didn't catch that nail while doing Uber. We caught it around a construction zone near our home. So you never know. You never know what disasters lie around the corner. You just do the best you can with what you got. And we definitely want to Uber more. Maybe we get some version 14. Once we get that, we're probably not going to Uber immediately. Got to make sure it's doing things, like have it go through enough experiences so that I kind of understand what it does around overpasses, at left-only turn lights. There's some things that I have in my mind where version 13.2.9 is where I'm like, my attention is peaked up a little bit, especially in some traffic situations. We gotta make sure that version 14 is handling those with some level of consistency, and then we'll turn on and have it wow and amaze Uber passengers. So probably need to get in a little more Uber before we get version 14, to be honest. I'm not just going to subjugate my passengers to an unnecessary poor ride quality or anything like that. And by the time I end up getting version 14, they're gonna iron all that out. New builds typically have some comfort issues that just need to get ironed out. And version 13, when we first got it, it was the same, making some weird movements at intersections, and you know, doing some things navigationally, like in contrast. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it wasn't smooth as it could be, as what we're experiencing right now. And it's not like they shipped us updates in between. It's just like something irons it out. Like, it gets a lot of information about the streets that we're I don't know, I can't explain. It's magic, ladies and gentlemen. The stuff is magic. So all I know is that over time it gets better. And from what Homar's blog and some of these others are saying, when they first got it, it's amazing, it feels like a different driver, but there are these moments when it's like stabbing at the brakes a little bit. Nothing that's serious, but it's a comfort issue, right? Like, there's just mildly uncomfortable, and I don't want to put Uber passengers through that at all, right? Like, if I were to be in the first wave, I would not be Ubering until I felt certain that we weren't having comfortability issues. There's obviously no safety critical stuff. Everything is, you know, subject to opinions, you know, the eye of the beholder type stuff. But for the most part, the car is as safe as it's ever been, feeling safer in some cases as well. So I look forward to being able to put version 14 on both of our vehicles. With every version, I think Yosh has just used FSD more and more and more. And as we get closer to Tesla assuming liability, I have a feeling that number is only going to increase further. So, you know, I normally don't traverse over here, so FSD for me is experiencing this, but maybe this Tesla right here is on FSD. They got the hands on the wheel, but you know, we need to see more people letting the cobwebs, you know, just grow on their steering wheel. But to each their own. I just know I'm never driving again if I can help it. You know, to me, driving is not a joy. It's kind of like saying, oh no, I like washing the dishes. I'm Optimus? Nah, I'm good. I'll wash my own dishes, Optimus. No, driving is a chore. In my eyes, I do not enjoy the task. I do not enjoy the risk. Like, my risk tolerance for being in control of a missile going 70 miles an hour, that's not something I would put on the, yeah, let me do that every day, all day. No, I'd rather the robot just do it. With many things, you know, that I'm not gonna let it play the PlayStation for me, unless, you know, that's a whole different level of farming, isn't it? Anyway, maybe I'm not at the house. I could just be like, make sure that you harvest this, that, and this from this video game. Optimus playing video games? You know? Goodness gracious. There's so many possibilities, right? Anyway, we are about 5 minutes out. We have digressed into talking about Optimus playing video games. So we need some other people in the car to drive conversations, apparently. It's nice out here. I like it back here. I've never really been back here. So yeah. Alright, so this is one of the instances where there's nobody on the left, right? And now it wants to go. Like, this is it, right? Maybe I could have gone. See? That's me, because I can't see color very well. All of those lights up there look red. And so I think we did have a green light, and then it turned yellow, and then it's red. I need this to be working immediately. I can't do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. So that's the green light. Maybe I don't think it was green. It might have been yellow. And it very well could have proceeded at that time, because then it turned red and I'd already disengaged. So whenever I disengage, I tend to be causing more problems than not. So I can't wait until Tesla takes liability. I can get in the back seat and not have to worry about it, and just show up to places. You know, get out refreshed, and then tell the car to go do something while we're waiting. That would be dope. That would be ideal for me, to not have to worry about the task of driving ever again, and still be able to have mobility and get around, things of that nature. So Cypress Creek Parkway. I guess they wanted me to proceed a little bit faster. Well, we're just following the guidelines that is set by NHTSA. We have to come to a complete stop there. It's not my fault. Blame NHTSA. Before that complaint, I remember that the car would come up to that light and just roll right into it, you know, just amazingly. Roll right into it. So, no more of that though. Starting to all look the same. Anyway, like I wonder if we Ubered out here and picked up a package. That's what's on my mind right now. It's like, have I Ubered out here before? But it's looking pretty foreign. We had a human step out. Car let us know just in case the car needed us to take over. But everything was right. Everything was good. We have arrived at our destination.